podcast. Onora Boys in the building. We are brought to you by Onora Whiskey. It is OnoraWhiskey.com. It's an Onora Whiskey Wednesday. Brought to you by Believe Network. Believe in Notre Dame. Believe in Lucky Lefty. Believe in yourself. And if you're going to drink, make sure that you do it
responsibly.
Let's get it, Left. Lucky Lefty podcast. So happy to be back with you guys. So Wednesday evening, hope your Monday and your Tuesday, beginning of your week was fantastic. Believe Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, tap in. We appreciate how you guys continue to support us. And then subscribe on YouTube. Leave your comments, questions. We respond to all. Make sure you hit that thumbs up because, of course, it helps with the algorithm and the views. And then you might as well go over to patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network for the Players Only podcast and all types of things coming soon during the spring. Left, you're going to be jumping on some of these film breakdowns in a minute. And then don't forget, go to Lucky Lefty Pod where you can merch it. Keep up with all types of recruiting news, Notre Dame news, and you can hit up the free message board over there and just talk about anything throughout the day. You already know we are the home of the misguided passion, and we are forever committed to making sure that we spin it different. Yes, sir. Left, how you feeling, man?
Great day. Another day. April's a good month so far, so keep things rolling. And also got the spring game coming up.
Spring game coming up, baby. Spring game. And I'm going to tell you something, man. I am irritated. You know why I'm irritated? Because I'm ready for the fans. I'm ready for the fans to lay their eyes on this team. Because there's too many narratives coming out, dude. Too many different narratives. But everybody could not have been watching the same practice last week. This is impossible. It's impossible. There's no way. With all the different views, everybody was watching the same practice.
Can't be that. It can't. It's only one team out there.
Some's not right. I'm smelling something. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna hear from. Let me tell you something. I love Riley Leonard. I love him. You know, every year John Gruden does his Gruden's camp. It used to be on ESPN. Now it's over at Barstool. And yeah, man, Riley Leonard's dropped today, Left. His Gruden camp dropped today. And Riley Leonard said some things that I hit you up. It's like, Left, I have to bring these clips up. I have to play the audio. Because I don't know what Riley Leonard was tripping a little bit.
Well, we knew this from the beginning. I mean, we've always called it out. But
I appreciate him for everything he did. But, you know, that cat John Gruden is one of the best gassers in the no one gaslights a quarterback like John Gruden, boy.
He's from Dayton, Ohio, man. You know how that gets done.
So that's what you guys do in Dayton. You gaslight. Got you.
No. We just lift all boats.
Got you.
Our tie. You know, Marcus Freeman lifted Riley Leonard to another level, another stratosphere. John Gruden boosted him up and into space, clearly, with the kind of sentiments he's had towards Riley Leonard. So if it wasn't for Dayton, Ohio, the 937, where would Riley really be? Where would Riley really be? I told you the truth, but also we tell, you know, we gas, but we prophesize. We break down, analyze, but we tell the truth. So that's the two sides you're going to get. You're going to get the truth and you're going to get the gas. Marcus Freeman, the truth. He's like, come on here. I will show you the way. Just like how LeBron came to Miami and D-Wade showed him how to get to a championship, except this wasn't LeBron because we didn't win. But at the end of the day, Marcus Freeman showed him how to be a winner. A winner. And then John.
It's kind of similar. Because Marcus Freeman's first attempt at it, he failed just like LeBron did in Miami. I'm just saying it's kind of similar.
Yeah.
So you can call Will Howard Dirk.
Yes.
Here's
what I saw his, and I'm like, oh, okay. The isolate four, okay, this guy. Yeah, that's what everybody would do.
Oh man. So We'll hear from Marcus Freeman shortly. Let's just talk about it, Left. The general consensus is that the defense won the day. Defense won the day. They had a double-digit lead based upon, it's basically defense versus offense. The way they scripted it, it's going to be the same thing for the blue and gold game on Saturday. And that's they're not doing the draft because they don't have the bodies. A lot of people out for the spring. They're not going to do the draft. And so defense dominated pretty much. A lot of the offensive linemen were out. Charles Jagasaw was the only presumptive starter that played. He got injured, rolled his ankle down in the red zone, the goal line, but got back in and finished up. That was good to hear. Jeremiah Love came up with a little hammy, and so they pulled him out. Marcus Freeman said he's good to go, nothing major. So we won't see him in the blue and gold game. Sorry, Notre Dame fans. What it means, you get to see the younger running backs, right? And so general consensus was there's one name that jumped, right? And we said this, man. Let me tell you, Notre Dame has it. Notre Dame can apply some pressure to players, a long history of players that know this is my last shot at Notre Dame. And somehow, some way, they come out playing with their hair on fire.
Every time.
The same, Jordan Botello did it at the beginning of last year. Came out playing like a man possessed. Jason Onyé, which I said, I think Jason Onyé is going to have the spirit of Jordan Botello past. Jump into him, and he's going to come out with a vengeance, and that's exactly what took place this weekend. People were like, yo, he's the best player on the team, regardless of what side of the ball. He's the best player on the field. He was that dominant. Like, he was winning against Charles Jagasaw in drills. He was winning against him in live action. And you love to hear that. He's up to 300 pounds now. Marcus Freeman talked about him glowingly. It took everyone. There are some things we've heard bits and pieces of what really transpired with him, and there's no need to get into that. But you knew it was going to be a long journey back. First of all, to regain the trust of the teammates and the staff. That's number one. And then once you do that, Left, you've been in it. You know when you're in the doghouse, in a sense. You know what they put you through to make sure you really want it. I can only imagine how many times he had to run the stadium. I can only imagine. Imagine.
It depends on what he did. It only depends on what he did.
And it doesn't matter. I'm sure he had to do something more than everybody else to get back into good graces.
Yeah, it's a winding road back to good graces at Notre Dame.
It's a winding road back to good graces at Notre Dame. I couldn't have said it any better myself, Love. It's a winding road.
Everybody got their own way to get back.
But he made it.
People don't make it back.
But he made it.
They like drop you off in the woods and they be like, all right, you got X amount of time to get back home. Hey, some people don't get back.
Yo, that's some scary. That's some like Greek online type stuff. Drop you off in the middle of nowhere.
Man, that's how they have you. You'd be like, what is going to happen to me? What do I got to do? Who do I got to talk to? And it's just, and they give you little stops along the way. You know, man.
And they have to make you feel the pressure.
Because they'll start gassing everybody around you. Oh, it's so good. It's like a whole. I think it's a lot of people working above the rim, you know. So once you on that track, but when you get back though, it's always good because it's like you earned it and it's a different fire, and you know. So I can see how Onyé can feel a redemptive path in a way where it's like, okay, I got a little more oomph of motivation, you know. And so never thought he wasn't a good player. I mean, but this will get you in the mindset of, okay, I'm on thin ice. And when you're on thin ice, you don't play around.
And you don't want to lose this opportunity. Lucky Lefty podcast. I got Sean Stewart says, what was your high school mascot, Malik? If you have a GTB question, super chat, get it in.
It was a night. Alter Nights.
It was the Alter Nights. Okay. The Alter Nights. You guys were like what? You consistently like what? Playoffs, good playoff run.
The best division in high school football, the GCL, Greater Catholic League.
Yeah.
Many stars and great players, and a national brand. You know what I mean? Ohio football. Per capita,
You say so. All right.
Yeah.
So, Jason, you can move from there. The next thing was the depth of the defensive line. Defensive line had a really good day. So, Chris Ash wasn't lying, left. Chris Ash wasn't lying. You have to tip your cap. Hey, Coach Washington, what you're doing from a development standpoint, right? Brendan Vernon flashed on a couple of plays. People have been asking about Brendan Vernon all off season. What does he look like? What is he doing? What is he going to do? And hopefully he can repeat that this weekend so the fans can lay their eyes on him and see the promise that a kid like Brendan Vernon has. And what you see is evidence that Devin Houston made the right decision moving from the defensive side of the ball to the offensive side of the ball. As we said, you're talking about 8-9 guys in front of you. Yeah, 8-9 guys in front of you that can play. Talk about an uphill battle to get on the field. That's exactly what it would have been and what it was for Devin Houston at the defensive tackle position. Another name that was consistently talked about, no matter who talked about the practice, was sophomore Bronte Johnson. Now, Bronte, of course, injuries early in the season, came back, was taking reps, and was the backup after Jaden Mickey left the program. He's the backup to Leonard Moore at the field defensive back position. Now he's playing next to Don Schuler on the back end at safety. And you heard about all the safety. Kennedy Urlacher made plays. Luke Talich had a good day. Jadon Blair flashed. And we talked about those safeties last week, Lev. It's like literally you lose somebody. We're going to hear Marcus Freeman talk about it. Dude, we won't bemoan the loss of Xavier Watts as if we don't have talent back there, and we won't overlook the loss of Xavier Watts.
Yeah, this probably
we
things
won't do that, right?
That he was doing that you won't have next year, but it's
big loss. Big loss. Great mixture of talent, athleticism, and know-how. Was always in the right place. You can't replace that. You only get that from reps and playing, which takes me back to Xavier Watts. Said he came back to be a better safety mentally and technically, and that's exactly who he became for the Fighting Irish. So, but in doing so, he transferred that over to a Don Schuler and showed him how to do it mentally, because physically, a Don Schuler can play physically, and the people on the back end, they can play. Luke Talich can play. Strowman can play.
Yeah,
Blair can play.
Good experience booster, better.
Absolutely.
Other side to Don, which is a great compliment. So it's an exciting way that we still rebuilding our defense, and I still think we're going to have really good things about us. But offensively, just has to be the greater part of the team, and it's the harder part to be right. But it's what's going to be needed and required. That's why it goes back to the reps, and you splitting it 3 ways or whatever the case is. It's still at a disadvantage just because a third is not as good as a half, is not as good as a whole. So, if you're getting a third, it's a longer climb to getting that confidence you need that this is your team, because that's a lot. It's a metaphysical feeling that you gotta feel like you're in control of the offense. And it's one thing when you just don't know everything that's being called. You you got to be in sync with the guy calling the plays. That's what puts you in the position, you know. So if you calling just base stuff and you can't get a rhythm and you taking off a bunch of drives because you got to wait and all this other stuff. That's why it's just tough. You know, I think Marcus Freeman, when he was decisive on quarterbacks, at least, whether it be the summer or right on time, we knew the guy, we could roll forward. It's just the messy part about the spring because you don't get a real feeling of playing at a high level when you know it's your team, when you're just out there playing by committee. You know, you're just taking reps. It just doesn't work well in a football go score some points setting. So that's where the guys got to get grit from. I think the quarterbacks have to use those moments as a separation period because at the end of the day, it's not ideal, but it's the one that can shine the brightest. So you're going to have to – that's what I'm saying. Big plays matter. You know, it's a part of your game. You got to take a little bit more risk. You add that risk factor that builds confidence, you know, and that's what kind of develops over time.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Marcus Freeman coming up in 5 minutes. We'll get his thoughts on what he saw from the scrimmage on Saturday. And later in the second half of the show, we'll hear from Riley Leonard on Gruden's camp on Barstool Network. Lucky Lefty podcast. I am Shaun Davis. That dude right there, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK ZAIRE. And we're just, you know, talking about, you know, the reports that came out of Saturday's scrimmage. What can be agreed upon is that the defense won the day. The defensive line dominated. To put that in context, the only starter on the offensive line, presumptive starter, was Charles Jagasaw. And so the offensive line didn't hold up quite well. And the quarterbacks were under duress for the majority of the day. About 60 plays. It was an equal split between the three quarterbacks, and they all played under duress, which most people will say, man, how can you really get a good view? Well, if they're all playing under the same environment, you see who can handle that type of environment, who handles it best. And so
it's not an ideal situation, though, you know.
No.
But you got to see who, because if it is like that, who can at least survive. And I think that's where decision making has to be ultimately the most important thing. Don't turn the ball over. Know that you have a defense in a real situation, play the position to find a way to win. You know, and that's what these all are about. And the coaches understand that it's a disadvantage in ways how they got to set up. But I just want to see who's going to survive the uncomfortable. And, you know, you can't look at the big picture of, oh, if you're an offensive guy, oh, the defense is, you know, it's easier to play defense. You know, it's harder to be in sync and everything go right and guys making all the plays and guys making plays. It's a whole process. That's why it's a delicate thing to just swapping in and out quarterbacks and being indecisive in that manner, because you need Denbrock needs to be able to get a connection or flow with guys he's calling plays for, because you can't call it the same for everybody. He didn't call it the same for Riley and Steve. So he's not going to call it the same for Steve and K-Minji. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So Kenny Urlacher, people want to know, could he cover? Our reports are, yeah, he covered very well. He's been covering all through the early part of spring camp, and that bodes well for his development. You know what he can do coming down to the line of scrimmage. That was never a question. He attacks, he tackles, he blows things up. I love the versatility they had back there. I think Luke Talich is very rangy. I think very intelligent. When he gets in, he's in the right spot. He makes plays. You talk about Stroman. You talked about him being the veteran back there. Jadon Blair is just, the first time I saw him, I knew he was going to add weight. I was like, he has a chance to be that Sean Taylor type at 6'5", 6'4", 6'5". If he gets up to 215, 220, watch out. He flashed. It's just the versatility they have at the position, right? And you always want to say, if for some reason something happens to a Don in a game, now you have the ability, can Strowman move over to a Don spot? Can you bring a Luke Talladge in, right? Can Jadon Blair, who I think can play both spots, he can be rangy and he can be physical and come downhill and be in the box. I just think they have, Kennedy Urlacher, if he can cover, you definitely can use him in both spots. So I love the versatility they have on the back end. And I would dare say you're going to miss Xavier Watts, but I think in totality, you'll miss Xavier Watts' big play capability to come up with the big interception, right? You're going to miss that. But in totality, they have a chance to be a deeper secondary this year, just overall.
Yeah, overall, I mean, we definitely got options. And like you said, maybe Xavier Watts had a unique skill of playing big in the moment. And maybe it's not every guy's talent, but they may be talented. So we'll miss that in some aspects. I mean, he had 6, 7 picks the last 2 seasons, both seasons. And so for these guys, it's just a matter of who's going to be the next moment maker. Not if somebody else is put in that position. So who's going to step in there and to know that we got guys that are young and veteran that can go in there and make plays and is getting in that habit of this is being a standard and an expectation. The sky's the limit for that secondary, but we know who's heading it. We know who's putting it together, who's cooking up in the kitchen. And when you got that guy doing it, he's just had the Midas touch for guys in that unit to just understand, this ain't a room where, you can move slow. You got to be able to process and get on board fast because there's just too many guys in here that have done it. That's the importance of having veterans and the right transfers and the right guys playing early enough to get a taste. It's hard to make the connection from a veteran to a young guy if he doesn't get a taste. Even if it's a couple games, a couple plays, like Kenny Urlacher, he flashed in his couple of moments, and that set the stage for him to be able to make that jump that next year. Now he's a viable option, So kudos to that secondary of being consistently dominant. And even though it's been interchangeable in some places, we've only reloaded in that position.
So this is what you guys have been waiting for. Left, you saw it, you heard it. I'm just going to give the top 3 things I heard concerning the quarterbacks. The top 3 things. Number 1, Steve Angeli was the steadiest. He shined in 7-on-7, and he struggled when things went live. Okay, you got that?
Mattress.
Wait, no. Wait. He was the steadiest of the 3. He was the best and thrived on 7-on-7. And then when they went live, that's when he struggled.
Air mattresses are good when you first move in, but then when you got a chick coming over or something, air mattress just not gonna cut it.
That is the worst. That is the worst.
I mean, no matter how comfortable it is for you.
First of all, the look. No, it's just a bad look.
It's a bad look.
Before you get to the comfort, when you get to the look part,
it just won't ever look good for the woman. But when you by yourself, it's gonna get it done. You might be like, shoot, I don't need a. Yeah, you need a. Yeah. But it's the steadiest. We talked about that.
Yep. Number 2, CJ Carr didn't get off to the best start. Didn't do a lot of big things in the middle. Hit a lot of checkdowns, but he made one of the plays of the day on a 47-yard bomb to Elijah Burris on the last play as he was being leveled by defensive linemen. That was the general synopsis for CJ Carr.
About CJ, he's going to do all the right things. It's going to be a matter of how many moments can he make, like the one he did.
That is exactly what you said. Going back to his Elite 11 days, before he even got to Notre Dame, you called him for what he is. This is who he's going to be. That's a good call, Left.
I'm telling you, he's going to do. Okay, but they're going to be like, can you do it? Can you win it? When it matters, we can do all the little check downs or smart. Oh, you intelligent. You went to the third guy. But how many times can you do the 47-yard to Elijah for the big plays? You know, but he's going to slow cook. Take what it's giving me, play the right way. Take what's giving me, make a big play here or there. He's going, that's what you want. That's going to win you 10 games. Can he win 11, 12, 13, 14? So, not surprised.
Kenny Minchie. The general synopsis was that Kenny Minchie overall was having a pretty good day. He led the first touchdown drive before that last throw by C.J. Carr out of all the quarterbacks and was on the verge of leading another touchdown drive, got into the red zone, and threw a costly interception that was just an awful bad decision. And that was the big scar on his resume for the game. Now, those are the three. If that's the layout in the synopsis, you tell us, quarterback that played for Mike Denbrock and donned the gold helmet, hearing those three synopses, does that tell you anything? Maybe get your genie.
It's told me exactly what I've been saying the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You got Air Mattress Steve that can win you 10 because it's just steady. It's just, okay, boom, okay, we do it. But it's not going to be the talent when things go crazy that's going to get you over the hump. You got CJ where everything is 2X'd. And because we have a good team around us, he's going to fit in and just do his thing. But his thing is going to be about moments. But that's a 10-game guy. Kenny Minchie, he's the guy that's the biggest question of, okay, we can win it with him, but we got to rein in. He's got to hone in on what he can do his best. He's going to take chances. You're going to have some mistakes, but he also is going to take those chances and cash in as well. He's got the most feel, instinct, and natural talent that you can lean on. If I'm Denbrock, okay, I just feel like I can call a little bit more. He'll make me look a little bit better on things. Because with the other two, you got to call a great game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too much freestyle you're going to get out of the other two. Because if you had to put it on them, they need a little bit more. Not that they can't do it. But when you got talent around you at a top 5 program, they can work with that. Kenny can kind of work with whatever you put out there because it's about him. He's going to try to make the play. Even good or bad, now he's going to get better with more time. I think if he was split in half instead of a third, that bad decision wouldn't be a bad decision. He sees it more, gets more stabs at it. You thinking about a guy that's like, I got to do above and beyond. I got to force a little bit more. I got to do some things that I probably wouldn't do on a regular. Because you trying to, in your mind, you got to separate yourself in some way. But with the good, the bad, whatever, you can remember those moments. I think Kenny's the more memorable guy that you're going to have out of the three. And that's what you tend to want to, be more attracted to play. I mean, honestly, you can fall asleep at the wheel watching Steve, and then CJ's just going to do all the right things, but it's not going to be as exciting as what Kenny can bring because you almost don't know. But on the bright side, you can the ceiling is a lot higher for that. And I think Denbrock will manifest his play calls through Kenny and what he really likes. Whereas with the other guys, he's gonna call some things, but they're gonna execute. And maybe not give you the flashes that you want on a consistent basis, but they're gonna do all the right things.
Lef, I had a conversation with someone and I said, going back to, I believe you said last week, or maybe it's the week prior, that Steve is going to have to be clear of these youngsters by a nice margin. in order to win this thing. He cannot allow this thing to be close. He has to be the
His
decider.
seniority has to be shown through. He's got to be the first led touchdown, and he's got to be the one that's leading the pack in that aspect, moving the team, getting out of situations. That's the only way the seniority should be adding in to his confidence and being like, I can win the job. Other than that, it's not a talent thing. Everybody knows that. They respect you, they'll listen to you and all that, but you're lacking in areas where you almost have to be perfect in your execution. And when the offensive line ain't stellar like it is, and you got to run around and exposes a different part of your game, how do you manage those parts? Are you shocked? Are you making good decisions? Are you taking, so I think you just trust a little more with your eyes closed, picking number 8.
Yeah, I think it's unfair because someone read the report and I saw them respond and say it sounds like CJ is just an elevated Ian Book. Somebody is not going to make the mistake. It's not going to pull the trigger on the deep ball. That's not CJ Carr. CJ Carr will go ahead, like you saw the last play of the scrimmage. He'll go ahead and do that. So that's unfair to put CJ in that type of box. But I will say this.
Playing this quarterback in Notre Dame history.
Like I said, I don't want to put CJ in that type of box. Lucky Lefty podcast. So
Let's start putting some respect to his name, man. This is crazy.
You can put all the respect on his name you want to, Left. That's your boy. No problem with it. Back to my point though, in having a conversation, I was talking about the two youngsters, and I said, look, man, one is totally different than the other. It is the job of Gino Gaduli to be able to teach both. You have to be able to teach and elevate both styles, right? I see someone in the chat talked about there is no hit and miss with Kenny. What comes with Kenny is you're going to get a lot of great plays. And because he has the audacity to go ahead and take a shot or believe he can make a play, sometimes it doesn't work. And the only way you get that out of him is if he plays. Practice isn't going to get that out of him. He has to play. He has to play. And it takes guts as a staff to say,
yeah,
we're going to run with him and we're going to coach him.
Yes.
We know he's going to give us,
yes.
We know he's going to give us great plays. However, if we can just get him to cut down, you know who else made great plays and threw a lot of interceptions?
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston, Deshaun Watson, they both won national championships.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson threw a lot of picks.
A lot of picks. He won a lot of games too.
A lot of games.
He put his team on his back a lot of times. He won championships. So this is what I'm talking about.
That's that ceiling. That's the ceiling.
Yes.
Yes.
That's just the type of quarterback he is.
Yeah.
He's a gunslinger that's fair. He's a gunslinger.
Mentality.
Yes. He believes in his arm.
We need, somebody got some color back there, like personality, like they, And
CJ,
not that doing it right is a wrong thing. However,
they both have to be coached, Left. You have to coach both of them.
That's what I'm saying.
CJ is going to have his things that he has to get over as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to have his things. I don't care who plays. I don't care who starts. You have to coach.
Got to coach.
You got to coach, and you have to continue to coach the one that's the backup. You have to coach them both. Notre Dame's in a great position, bro.
Yes.
Great position. These are the two quarterbacks you got.
You can work with that.
Absolutely. And like you said, they were playing behind a skeleton crew on the offensive line. So what you got to see is how these young men react under immense pressure. How they going to respond? How they going to respond? Do you want the guy who can make plays with his legs and with his arm in that environment?
Right.
And every now and then, Dude, you know who else threw some just boneheaded interceptions? The dude that's about to be the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft. He would run around, and every game you'd be like, what in the world is Cam Ward doing?
Oh,
Why is he throwing that ball across the middle? Thinking because he is a gunslinger. That's who he is. He believes in his arm. He believes in his legs. He believes he's a playmaker. That's who he is. That's who he is. And either you can coach that or you can't. Either you believe in him or you don't. And I don't care what anybody said. If I were Gino Gaduli, I would be like, whoo, oh, I got two. Oh, I'm about to stack my resume. Oh, my quarterback development resume is about to look real good in about 2 to 3 years. That's how I would feel.
Yeah.
If I was Gino Gaduli, I would feel really good about my resume moving forward. I really would. I really would. So it really is preferential at this point. It's preferential. What is Mike Denbrock, Marcus Freeman, and the offensive staff and those players, what are they going to prefer? Whose voice do they prefer? It's a lot out there, man. It's a lot out there. And I kind of forewarn people. You're going to hear about 3 or 4 different things about these quarterbacks coming out of the practice. You would think that everybody would agree on what they saw. Unfortunately, it's not the case. And I look forward to you fans being able to lay your eyes on all 3 quarterbacks this Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to come and talk to you guys about what you guys saw from these 3 quarterbacks on Saturday. Hopefully the offensive line can progress a little bit. Give them a little help with the running game and some other things. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Let's hear from Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman met with the media in the immediate aftermath of the scrimmage. And Coach Freeman, of course, man, he loved what he saw from his players. He loved what he saw from his team. However, this is what he had to say about starting quarterback, leadership, things of that nature, Lef.
And I think as a coach staff, you just want to get them more, but they've handled it perfectly. Right? They focus on the reps they get. They do the best job they can. If they're not in there, they're getting mental reps. They're helping each other out, and really focus on being the best version of them. And that's all you can ask. If you're worried about anything else, then you're not really helping yourself at all, right? If you're worried about counting the other person's reps and if how many completions he has, that's not helping you be the best version of you. And so they've been amazing. They've been great. But just exactly what I thought they would be, mature and guys that take care of their business and take advantage of their opportunities that they're getting. For us, how do we find ways to continuously get them more, but understand that we have a team that it maybe isn't as deep in those positions right now in the spring. And so we can't hurt the greater good of the team. We have to be able to evaluate those guys. But we feel like we have done, in the first 9 practices, a really good job being able to at least evaluate those guys in a fair way. And, again, that's what we'll continue to do as we go throughout spring.
You said at the start of spring that you didn't want to put a timeline on a decision. Where you are right now, do you envision this going past the spring?
I don't know when it's going to be. I mean, it will be when they kind of determine decisions need to be made. You know what I mean? I've always said, I don't truly believe that coaches put a timeline. I think the players kind of decide when decisions need to be made. And as soon as there's a clear starter, we'll name a clear starter.
Go ahead, Lef. I already do.
What is he talking about? Marcus Freeman cleared. Listen, if that's the case, then why are we doing this? Because all of them want to play. Like Marcus Freeman, you get paid the big bucks to literally make that decision. First you said they, then you said, who is they? You are getting paid specific. I told Coach Kelly that when he sat there with me and Deshaun a week before the game talking about he didn't know what do you mean? What do you mean you don't know? If anybody knows, you're supposed to know. It's different if Gino could do it. He's like, I don't know, I'm not going to make a decision. No. Marcus Freeman, do not screw this up. It's no different than a job interview. You got 3 great candidates for a job interview and hire anybody? What are you talking about? How do you not have a time? That's so irresponsible to say you don't have a timeline when you have a timeline constructed for every part of your day and everything already laid out for the team for the whole calendar year. Recruiting is all scheduled. Your breakfast to dinner is scheduled. Your haircuts are scheduled. You think Julio knows when he's supposed to be, where he's supposed to be, what time and what day? Absolutely. Absolutely. He's not
the first fade. Yeah.
You think Marcus Freeman will go up there and say, I'll let Julio decide when it's time to get a cut? Are you kidding me? Julio's like, oh, I could just decide when to cut your hair. No. Marcus Freeman, you got a timeline for everything in the program. Everything. You when the kids go to weightlifting, when they go to class, when they come back, when they go to study hall, what time practice and lift and training room, and you have a schedule and time for everything. You don't got one for the most important, and you're gonna say you're gonna let them decide? No, they decide what they're gonna eat every day. When they go to the cafeteria, when they get the snacks, that's what they decide on. You decide on the football team. Maybe you should say, oh, I'm not gonna tell you guys, but I got a decision in my head or something. You act like you got all the time in the world. No. We have the luxury of having good talent, but there's no talent when you don't have a guy. Period. Because at the end of the day, it's all about prepping the guy you are going to be behind for the 2025 season. That's potentially 15 to 16 games, and you out here talking about you don't have a timeline? What are you talking about? If I'm the head coach, that's the first thing I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about how do I get the best quarterback in college football or close to it my first 2 days in office. Because what are you going to do if you can't throw the football? What are you going to do if you can't? Like, what are we talking? Especially after what we had last year, Marcus Freeman, you should, and knowing that you didn't have one until the fall camp of last year and the struggle it took to get him ready, you're going to do that to the team again? That's what you just dealt with. You just not having to say the guy, but the guy wasn't available until the season was about to kick off. That's terrible. But you saw the struggles with it, and we already talked about it. You're going to struggle in the beginning. So now you're telling me you have the advantage of already having the guys there for a year and a half, and you still talking about you on time. I would have had the decision after last year. After the last game, I would have been taking all the clips of everything leading up to this point and what I've known so far and be like, okay, this is the lead horse right now. Why is it such a secret? None of them is played. So that's the biggest secret. It's exposed. None of them is played. So what does it matter to be mysterious about this? This is ridiculous. What if Jack Swarbrick did that to Marcus Freeman? Oh, I got 3 guys, Marcus Freeman, such and such, such and such. Well, we're just going to all let them try it out. And then no, he had to make a decision. Okay, Marcus Freeman, you're the head coach. Tommy, you're the offensive head coach. And then he made a decision. He made the decision before Marcus Freeman could make the decision. Did we like it? No, but we respect that he made it. And it was slick. He did it in a slick way, but he made one. Which means he was thinking about it. Marcus Freeman, you ain't even talking about you thinking about it. You just talking about, it is what it is. When the kids tell us, what do you mean when the kids tell us? The kids are gonna know quarterback specifically. The kids will tell you about the other guys because that's obvious. Oh, he just beat him on Jason Anye. Oh, he's just whooping dudes. Okay, the team knows that. They ain't no quarterback is different. Quarterback is different. You got to script that thing. You got to, you got to make them look good in certain things, and you can't do everything, but you got to, make it look good. It's a dress up. Receiver, Jaden Greyhouse, woo, woo, woo. Okay, that's really good. The team knows. So, in fairness, Marcus Freeman, don't do this to the team. That's what's gonna happen. Are you gonna take 3 quarterbacks in there in game 1? That'd be the most foolish thing in the world. Just look around. Look around college football. Every team that's gonna be a threat got their quarterback already like, this is the dude. Even good old Kelly, he's like, shoot, I still got Garrett. I'm gonna ride with that. Good old K Club, Nick Club, whatever. Club Foot, he's still there. DJ Lagway, they say, he's ready. Dylan Raiola, these guys I don't even know the backups. That's a way forward. It's an easy indicator of what kind of offense you're going to have when they already knew their quarterback. We saw Florida go through who's going to be our quarterback, who's going to be our quarterback. We got this guy we don't really like. And they were middle of the pack. Now they know their quarterback. Guess how many games Florida's going to win next year? At least 10. That's the hope. That's the expectation. Because why? They know their quarterback. They're relevant because they have a quarterback. I've never heard them talk about Florida this much. But they talk a lot about him. He even got a Gatorade commercial. This dude is huge. He doing more than Nico Iamaleava, and Nico Iamaleava played for 2 seasons. So that's the importance of why you need a quarterback. And to know who it is. Denbrock knew who his guy was for 2 years. He knew it was Jaden Daniels for 2 years and got the most out of it. And I just, it's a luxury to have a bunch of talent, like a bunch of running backs. Because you can plug and play, different skills. Quarterbacks, you just cannot do that. That's the head of the beast. I don't know how, you got to hire somebody. You hired everybody else. You didn't say Chris Ash had to tell me. No. That's what you don't do that. You don't apply that model to anything else in the program. Do you see anything that he applies that model to? Does he do that with recruiting? I'm going to let the kids tell us. What? You got to go recruit. What do you mean? What do you mean? The model doesn't fit anywhere else in the program, Marcus Freeman. So why do it with the quarterbacks? The most important part. Just a bad sign. That's all I'm saying.
Lucky Lefty podcast, Marcus Freeman then talked about how freshman CJ Carr, now sophomore CJ Carr, is starting to look in his development.
They control what they control, right? And there's different ways to evaluate the quarterbacks without an offensive line, with an offensive line. I think the thought is that just because they're young, they can't protect, but I think they've done a good job at protecting the quarterback at times. But that's the reality. You're going to get pressure as a quarterback, and you got to find ways to maneuver through it, extend plays, make plays, but also be able to take care of the football. And you know what, if there's nothing open and you're getting pressure, at times you're either going to take a sack or throw the ball away. So I think they've been put in really good situations. But I don't know if that's had an impact on the evaluation of the quarterbacks. I don't think at all.
Tay Johnson was someone who stood out to me. It seems like he's moving around quite a bit. What have you liked about the way he's progressed this spring?
Yeah, Tay is, extremely athletic. He missed part of last season with an injury and had surgery, and so it's been good to see him out there playing at the safety position. But he's also played some corner, could possibly play nickel. Really an athletic young man that is really grasping the scheme of what he's asked to do too, and playing at a high level. So he's had a really good spring, and I hope he continues on this trajectory that he's on.
So that was Marcus Freeman talking about the offensive line being in shambles, how it's impacted quarterbacks in the competition. And he's saying, they're in an environment where, hey, they're having to move around, make plays, move in the pocket, either take a sack and come back to live and fight another day, or go ahead and make the play when you can. So they're all going through the same situation. And so it really hasn't impacted the quarterback competition at all. And then he raved about Bronte Johnson, who was really coming on in practices at the end of last year, even going into the bowl game. And then from there, just really took a whole nother step forward. And so you love hearing that. You absolutely love hearing that from that young man that's working both. He can still play defensive back, and they're really getting him ready back there at safety. You love hearing his progress and his report coming forth. This is more along the lines of the development of CJ, in particular, left right here.
Proved. He's done a good job, as all three of them have. Blake has done a good job. Like, they've all improved, and that's all you ask them. Each of them improve, and they really are. And so he's improved from where he was practice one, but all of them are. Credit to their coach and credit to them, but they've really just been constantly improving.
All right, front row on your left, Jaxel.
Marcus, a couple of the freshmen we keep hearing about so far this spring are Elijah Burris and Creed Thomas. Obviously, Elijah had that touchdown today. What have you seen from those two guys?
They've done a good job. They've really done a good job. He's a hard worker, runs routes hard, has made some tough catches. I really like what he's done. Creed Thomas has done a great job in terms of, again, a guy that practices hard and a guy that is pretty detail-oriented and has done a good job competing.
It's gross the way Marcus Freeman describes his quarterback thing. I just think it's a gross mystery because it's
he's doing it on purpose. He's absolutely doing it on purpose.
But why?
He's limited the access. He's kept everything hush.
That's so boo.
There have been very little leaks coming out of it.
That is the value of doing that.
That's the way he wants to do it, bro.
No, it's not, because when he got on Riley, what happened? Oh, that's my guy. The hell or high water. That's my guy. I'm doing it. Yeah, he can do no wrong. Sam Hartman just walked in here with a C on his jersey. Wasn't no.
No, that's not true. That's not true. He said it was a competition between Tyler and Sam until the spring was over.
You talking about the guy that's catching punts?
I'm telling you what he said publicly. What he says publicly has lined up with what he has said the previous two springs.
Do you believe
this is what he says? I didn't believe there was no insider. Wait a minute. He has said the same thing, but we all knew there was no competition with Sam Hartman. We all knew there was no real competition with Riley Leonard and Steve Angeli. We knew that. He's saying the same thing. So do I believe in his heart of hearts that he knows, just like he did the two previous springs, he knows who he wants? I'm going to step out there and say, yes, he knows who he prefers right now. Right now, as we go into the blue and gold game, I fully believe that Marcus Freeman knows who he prefers at quarterback. And he is giving the quarterbacks an opportunity to change that. I do believe that. Is it more of a quarterback Is it more of a quarterback competition than it's been the previous 2 years? Absolutely. God. Absolutely. There's a genuine quarterback competition. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I disagree. I forget who it was in the chat. Because someone in the chat mentioned that they have to wait until the full team gets back to know. No, they don't. No, they don't. You know. It doesn't make a difference whether the full team, half the team. You know when you see the dude. The players know. You can go have a conversation with the players right now. They will tell you who is the leader in that quarterback room. They'll tell you. You've been in these locker rooms, Left. Marcus Freeman is doing what he does all the time in the spring. Yes, he is. Because he said the same. He said it was a quarterback competition the previous 2 years.
He was lying, man.
Okay. But I'm saying he did the same thing.
I don't think he knows now. There's no way to know.
No,
everybody knew when those
he
two.
Know. Well,
we had Sam Hartman.
Let's take Marcus Freeman out of the seat there.
Okay.
Marcus Freeman, you could be released from the witness stand.
Yeah, because
you're released.
Your pants are on fire.
That's called the state calls their next witness offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock.
Okay.
Coach Denbrock
gave a sit down. And said all three. We glad we got all three.
Does Mike Denbrock know who his presumptive guy? I guarantee you, when Mike Denbrock goes home, Mike Denbrock is like, man, yes, there is a presumption by all. I'm sure coaches have their favorites. Some players have their favorites. Absolutely. Do I think it's just this mixed gumbo of conversation where everybody like this person, where it's like this person believes Steve, this person believes Kenny, this person believes CJ.
What did Marcus Freeman do?
It's not like the media. The locker room is not like the media, Left.
Marcus Freeman not being real, because what did Marcus Freeman do 2 years ago during the season?
You keep saying during the season.
He brought all them quarterbacks in the room. He brought all the quarterbacks in the room and said, hey, I'm getting somebody better.
Wait a minute.
Now, if he can do that.
Everybody watching the show tonight would have done the exact same thing. What are we talking about? Drew Pine is playing for Eddie George in the MAC, bro. He's playing for Eddie George in the MAC right now. Your boy Drew Pine, which is Marcus Freeman's starting quarterback. Marcus Freeman, ladies and gentlemen, Marcus Freeman won 9 games with Drew Pine at quarterback. See, we need to look back on that and give him a lot of credit. That man won 9 games with Drew Pine as quarterback. Got Drew Pine NIL money. Did he not, Left? Did he not get Drew Pine NIL money twice?
He did.
Okay, wait. Now Drew Pine is where he probably belonged, in the MAC.
My point is, if he can be decisive like that.
Who said he's not decisive? You see, this is why I push back. Who said, no. He doesn't have to be decisive with us. He doesn't. He doesn't have to be decisive with us. Is he decisive when he walks in that room with Mike Denbrock and the coaches?
I don't know.
Absolutely.
What is the benefit of doing it this way? That's the question.
Keeping everybody out of his business?
But what do you mean? It's front page news.
No, it's not. You know why? Wait. Let me be honest about the media. The media is going to write the story regardless of what Notre Dame tells them. They're going to write the stories about Steve and CJ regardless. The narratives are going to come out regardless. Those are the clicks, Left. We said this a month ago. Those are the clicks. They don't need to hear Marcus Freeman say a word to continue
to write out
the narrative. Everybody that had Steve in front watched the same practice and said Steve had the best day. The same people. The narrative didn't change, and it's not going to change. The only thing that's going to change the narrative is when the people lay their eyes on it, and the people get to chime in. When the people get to chime in, that's when people want to say, okay. Literally, go the same publications that said Steve, that released that story and leaked the story that Steve Angeli was the clear-cut leader that the players were reacting to were the same publications that watched the same practice and said Steve had the best day. It's the same publications. And the publications that have been reporting that the youngsters have been playing the best saw their practice the same way. The same way. That's what we said was going to happen. So now, this Saturday, the Notre Dame fan base will get to lay their eyes on these three quarterbacks and make up their minds for themselves, leaving the spring and going into the fall. It is what it is. It is what it is, love. It is what it is. I'm trying to tell you, Marcus Freeman knows. Marcus Freeman knows, dude, I don't have to feed them anything. They're going to say what they want to say. They're going to say what they want to say. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Right? They're going to, it is what it is. And it's obvious. It's just obvious at this point, man. It's obvious at this point. But let me tell you what was mind-boggling to me. Notre Dame fans, everybody in the chat, if you disagree, please, I'll bring it up on the show. If you disagree, type it out. This is the most mind-boggling to me. Steve had the steadiest day. He was the best in 7-on-7, but he struggled when things went live. But he was the steadiest. Please explain how, because the games aren't 7-on-7 last I checked, love. When they line up against Miami, it won't be 7-on-7.
No.
It won't be 7-on-7. So, I don't care. I tell you all the time. This is why it's strange that people try to build things from what we see as the media in 4 or 5 periods when we're watching these dudes throw. Dude, they can throw. They can throw the football. So watching them throw the air is nothing. There's no pre-snap read. There's no sound. There's no adjustments pre-snap. There's no post-snap read. There's nothing. You're just throwing the air. That's all you're doing. So I wouldn't, me personally, I would never watch that and say such and so was the best throwing on air. I don't even care about that, bro.
Don't even care about it.
That's like me watching some kids warm up. And I see this kid make all of his jumpers and warm-ups. And then all of a sudden they start scrimmaging and he can't dribble. All he can do is spot up shoot, but he can't get his shot off in the scrimmage. But I'm like, yo, you know what? He was the best in warm-ups, though. That jump shot is wet in warm-ups. What are we talking about? These are, like, even within the comments, there are contradictions. That's what's so confusing for the fans. I tell you, the fans are the ones suffering, dude, from the lack of, I won't say the lack of transparency, but just the lack of availability to be able to properly report what's going on. It's the fans that are suffering because the media is going to report what they want to report anyway, love. It doesn't make a difference. They're going to report on Angeli and CJ Carr more anyway. It's more clicks. It's more clicks that way. It's better business that way. They're not going to talk about 8. They're not. They're not going to talk. They don't do. Go watch anybody that talked about that practice. I guarantee you, they fast forwarded through 8.
The whole time.
It was like, 8. Da 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 da. Okay, on to the next quarterback. It was just like that. It is literally obvious. It's so obvious, bro. It's so obvious. It's almost like, well, we have to. We got to talk about it. Yeah, okay.
We
On
did.
the next quarterback. Right. So, I mean, look, I'm happy for the fans on Saturday, man. More than anything, I'm happy for the fans, man. And there is no discount to anyone. But the truth of the matter is, Steve Angeli has to, in my opinion, and Left echoed this and mentioned it last week, he can't allow this to be close. Not with the intangibles of the other kids. The other kids have the intangibles, the ceiling, the big play makeability is on the side of these youngsters. Steve Angeli has to make it clear that he is the guy. Just period. Just period. So it's something else, man. Let's hear a little more from Marcus Freeman. Coach Freeman talked about the defensive line, how they continue to shine throughout the spring, last Saturday, and then the leaders that are starting to show themselves for this team.
You know, Rubio's done a really good job. He got to play for us a lot last year. You know, Jason Onye's really, I'm really pleased. Just, again, I think I said it last time I was up here, just the journey he's been on and the way he's been practicing. Donnie Heinisch is, he's been a stud. He's done a good job. And then, you know, Elijah and Jared have done a good job. And on down. Like, they've all done a good job versus the guys they're going against. They're improving, and I'm glad we have them.
Front row on your right, Pete Sampson.
9 practices in, do you get a sense of like the voices of leadership that are starting to emerge a little bit, and how have you tried to push those guys forward?
You know, coaches have provided a lot of the leadership, but you know, those guys all at different times. I wish I could say it's just one guy. I think it's just kind of by committee right now, and probably more so within the room. Which the position, more than anything you see, I think all 3 quarterbacks that are competing have all done a good job of rallying the offense. You know, Jagasol is probably one of the few returning starters on the offensive line that's in there constantly with the ones that have done a good job of rallying the troops. And defensively, you'll hear a little, Leonard Moore, you hear Don Schuler, guys that have been out there and played. Drake Bowen's been great. Snead, all those guys that have played, all at moments you'll hear their voice. And so you want to continue to empower those guys, because at the end of the day, those are the guys going to be on the field, and those are the guys that have to provide the leadership to our team.
So why can't you provide the quarterback that same thing? This is ridiculous.
And let it go, man.
No, because this is signs of a bad season. Only because it's like, man, think of how much further along one of these guys would be if they knew from this spring that they're the guy moving forward. That's the whole goal, is to have the most prepared guy ready for the team. How much more further along will we be if we just named the guy and just wrote it out? If he's not good, if it doesn't work out, at least you can say we've put the coaching behind him. We've put all the faith and confidence in him, and our coaching and development will shine because we've been treating it like day one. You're going to wait all this time and then put it on, oh, he didn't perform to his highest, but you didn't prepare him to the most capable. This is not the league where you can just throw guys in there and expect them to perform at a certain level. You still got to develop guys, but that comes along with knowing your quarterback. So I just think it's important. The NFL doesn't do that necessarily. Like, they pay a guy, they play a guy. Shoot, we pay the guy and play the guy. So I don't know. I think it's going backwards doing this archaic method of going about it only because I just know for a fact it's about preparing. And we would be much further along offensively and most likely less struggle if you just knew who the guy was and rolled with him. Because then you can say we rolled this guy out, but we put all the things into him up until this point. If you wait till last minute, throw a guy out there, he doesn't do right, then you throw another guy out there, he's not ready. You throw another guy out there, he's not ready. You're not allowing yourself to coach and develop anybody. This is not receivers or running backs or offensive line. You can't prepare 3 guys to play the most important position and then expect a guy to just take the lead. No, these are all you just know. What if you told your girl, hey, babe, like, you and 2 other girls are competing and you guys are going to decide. I'm going to just sit back and no, you got to choose, or you're going to lose all 3. So it's no different.
Yeah, like, okay. This is, who is this? Man, I got these bright lights in my eyes. I'm sorry, people, I can't see. Mark Bronson, thank you for joining us tonight. He says, so competition is a bad thing. Yes, it is if you allow it to play out too long.
Yes.
So, because Marcus Freeman said the players have to decide. Okay, so if the players don't decide up until the last practice of fall camp, then what? When does the decision fall?
That's what I'm saying.
As the head coach,
the guy getting paid all the money to be like this.
This is who I'm rocking with. We have to get behind a guy two weeks out from.
It's not hard for Dabo. It's not hard for Dabo. Dabo like, shoot, this is my guy. Shoot, Kelly Bryant, I love you.
So there's nothing wrong with competition, but it is something wrong with competition that is allowed to linger.
This is a high stakes football. There is no competition in high stakes. Everything is a transactional. This is the guy, deal with it, and when it don't work, we'll do something else.
I'll say something controversial. I'll say it. Because you got other people that say crazy stuff. So I'll say something that might be deemed crazy. There is no competition at middle linebacker. There is none.
There you go.
Drake Bowen is the middle linebacker.
Oh, we heard that from the coach.
In Notre Dame.
We heard that from the coach. We heard that from the coach.
I don't care who you think is faster. I don't think who you think is more athletic. Drake Bowen is the starting middle linebacker for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish for the next 2 years. There is no competition.
No.
Regardless of who's fat, whatever. There is no competition.
Bullock said he is the head of this beast.
Max Bullock said before the scrimmage, people perceived that Jack Kaiser, because of how many games and years he's been here, he was the leader. Well, in fact, Drake was the leader in the linebacker room. Marcus Freeman, in the same press conference after the scrimmage, said the exact same thing. Drake Bowen, we just played the clip. Drake Bowen was the leader last year. He was the leader. And people keep screaming. Crazy people. I mean, people saying crazy stuff. KVA's going to take his spot in the middle of next year. What are we talking about?
No.
Based upon what?
Max Bullock said he is the head. He is the spirit, the voice. What did he say?
He said all of that. He said all of that.
He said this ain't a defense without him. Basically, he said.
What did I tell you?
Is me reincarnated.
What did I tell you? The second practice last spring. I don't create stuff. I observe. I shut my mouth and I just watch. My dad taught me that a long time ago. You walk in the room, shut your mouth, observe. I walked in the room. Drake came on a blitz. Went down for a second, and the entire practice just stopped. Usually somebody gets hurt, they keep going. Am I right, left?
Yeah, move it up. Move it up.
That dude, they thought he was hurt. Total silence.
Wasn't no practices.
Total silence. That let me know how important they thought he was.
For sure.
That right there. And I told you right after the practice, like, okay. Drake Bowen is a dude. He's a dude. Because they said the freshman was going to come in and take Drake's spot. in the middle of last season. And I just kept shaking my head like, I guess Drake Bowen's just gonna disappear, huh?
See, but why can't we do that for a quarterback? Look how mature and how prepared and how ready Drake is. How dare we do that for our quarterback? Oh, Kenny, or Steve is the head of the snake. Head of the snake. That's what I don't understand. Why is it so secret for the quarterbacks? But it's I mean, even the coaches in the press conference, they ain't talking about no competition. What do you mean? Competition. Maybe at other spots. They're like, no,
competition is
great. Great gets.
It's great, right? Because you force the young players to prove that they are ready and they have somebody to shoot for. I love the competition. Steve should be the standard. He just played in a playoff game and played well for the most part. So, and he played in a bowl game and played.
I think it's just, you know what I think it is? It's because of the movies. What happens in the movies with the quarterback situation all the time? They play the guy that everybody's like,
we talking the program, the longest yard.
You name them all. You name them all. What happens? The coach made a decision.
Unnecessary roughness. What?
The coach make a decision and then it play out. Everybody like, oh, this guy sucks or whatever. And every time the guy that it didn't work out and the next guy comes in and he's the. So I don't see why we not playing it the same way, because that's the way you do it. That's how you get the team behind you. We making it so hard because who is the team gonna be like? That's the guy. Like you said, you ask the team right now who they think the guy is, it's gonna be different answers. You know why? Because the coach didn't decide.
I disagree. I bet you the wide receivers, I bet you they have a consensus.
We heard what they said.
Who?
I can't tell who the ball comes from. They lied. That's a lie.
First of all, I'm gonna tell you this. Every Notre Dame player, they have them trained. Whoever the PR department is at Notre Dame, they do an incredible job. They do an incredible job with their players.
They straight up said
the message is the exact same. The message is the exact same. The offensive linemen have said the same thing about the quarterbacks. The wide receivers have said the same thing about the quarterbacks. The tight ends have had they have told everybody, look here. You're going to be asked about these quarterbacks. Here's your script right here. Here's your script. Memorize it. Memorize your script for all of these questions.
Oh my God.
And they have memorized them to a T.
Guess what it got us?
Hey, I took my cap.
Guess with all of that. I took
my cap to the way they've handled it as a team.
The scrimmage by the defense. That's for all of that. Oh, I can't even tell. There's no numbers on the jerseys at practice. It's just all the same. And guess what happened in the scrimmage? Oh, the defense just whooped us. You know why? You know why, Sean? This is a very easy equation. Because there is no bona fide X factor. That everybody
X factor where? At quarterback?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got one guy that's bona fide X factor. We got one guy. But the most important position's got to be a dude. Okay, prime example.
Mm-hmm.
The receiver at Oregon, Tez Johnson.
Right.
Literally said Dante, the guy who they got
Dylan, the Rose Bowl. Leading up to the Rose Bowl.
They got leading up to the Rose before the game. They didn't take a snap. We got Dylan Gabriel. He said Dante Moore is gonna win the Heisman. And it's crazy because he ain't even gonna be there with him. He said
that's what he said.
So I don't understand how when you get all the way to South Bend, it's a different. The same guy that said they're gonna win the Heisman, we over here talking about we don't know what we're gonna do. We don't know. We make everything so hard. So there's something about, I think it's like a big.
I mean, there's really no one to compete with Dante Moore though.
Wait a minute. We thought so. What do you mean? We thought so.
No. Who on the Oregon roster is better?
Tommy thought so. You talking about over in Oregon?
Yeah. Who?
Oh,
Exactly.
I don't know this situation.
Exactly.
I know that Dante is a red shirt, junior?
Yes.
He hasn't started either. But
And Dante started for a darn near full season at UCLA, at least half a season. So he has a lot. Dante has more playing experience than Steve Angeli.
And the fact that they said this man with Dylan Gabriel on the team playing, he's going to win the Heisman. That's the conversation that somehow we just don't get at Notre Dame. It's just like that the receivers ain't saying that. The receivers are saying, oh, all of them are just so good, I can't tell who's better. That's terrible.
And then Mark Ronson, he says, so if all the quarterbacks are on the same level, why then they're not on the same level? See, this is what dude, stop.
This is the frustration.
Because
nobody else does this.
The quarterback.
What Ohio State just say? What Ohio State just say?
Physically, the quarterbacks are not on the same level.
No.
They're not.
No.
Ceiling wise, they're not on the same level.
No.
They're not.
No.
They're not. You just heard a report where the guy that was the steadiest was steady when there was basically no defense in 7-on-7, throwing on air. But when it went real, but he was the steadiest. Let that sink in. This is why I said, man, don't listen to anything that's being talked about. Watch the game for yourself on Saturday. And I guarantee you, on Saturday, no one will come out of that saying all three on the same level. Somebody has to be ahead. This is not a three-way tie.
That's what I'm saying.
With all of their torsos crossing the finish line at the spring. That's not the case. It's not the case. Somebody is ahead. Someone is ahead. It's going to come out in the wash. It's going to come out in the wash on Saturday. It will be. It's going to come out in the wash.
Oh, because it's
going to come out in the wash.
It's got to be.
That's why the things we're hearing, well, they're all equal right now. Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. Stop the cat. Stop.
Literally somebody, I don't know who the guy was. I saw it right before we started the show on X. Literally somebody was on the Cover 3 podcast. I don't know who he was. I didn't get a chance to identify. Literally, he was on the broadcast and said, I talked to an NFL Hall of Famer that was at the practices, and he said it's clear that one of the quarterbacks, in talking to his son and the players, one of the quarterbacks has been making plays more than the others.
Yeah, baby.
I'll just leave it at that. That's why I don't believe that. I don't believe if you talk to the players would come on, man. Stop this. They're all equal. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it, man. Competition is to show who's better. And I just don't buy 3 weeks into competition that everybody's just equal. I'm not buying that at all. I'm not. I don't care who's
had
out.
Jameis Winston, it wasn't no competition. Clemson with all the good quarterbacks, it wasn't no competition. They didn't make no. What Ohio State just do? They said it's between Julian Sand and the other dude. I mean, it's like, come on, man. We make it so it's got to be a money grab thing that they do just to.
Dabo had a future number 1 overall pick. He knew he had one, and still said Kelly Bryant is our star.
And he said it.
And then after 3 games, he was like, sunshine. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's cool.
He gave him his 2 games.
He gave him his 2 games. But I see both sides, Left. I push back on Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman is handling the surroundings. He is setting the atmosphere for the competition.
But it's
He knows exactly what he's doing and exactly what he's saying.
There's no benefit.
Absolutely. You know why? You know why? Because you said it. He knows every little thing that he wants in that program. So all of a sudden, he doesn't get to the quarterback competition and just, I'm just going to do this off a win.
He can't even talk about the quarterbacks without saying, but they're all doing good. But they're all.
He has to say that because he's controlling the atmosphere. He's absolutely controlling the atmosphere. He's absolutely controlling the entire atmosphere of this quarterback competition. Do I like it?
Man, make a decision.
From a media standpoint, not really. Do I like it for the fans? Not really, not having an understanding of what's going on. No, but you know what he's building? This fan base is hungry. This fan base is going to show up in front of the This fan base is going to show up. It's 55 and sunny. That's the forecast. 55 and sunny.
Oh, he's selling the fight. Okay, he said, they all good. We're gonna find
TVs are going to be turned on and people are going to be in the stadium. Because everybody wants to see. Because they don't know anything. They don't know who to believe. They don't know who to trust.
They don't know nothing.
Everybody is tuning in. Everybody's tuning in because they have to see it for themselves. Absolutely. He is so. This is pay-per-view, baby. This is pay-per-view. This is pay-per-view.
So you gotta come and see for yourself who number one.
See for yourself.
I don't know.
He has Don King the heck out of this quarterback competition. He only in America. He needs to come out the tunnel with a flag waving. Only in America on Saturday. I'm telling you, he has Don King.
He's trying to build the views with
this competition. Absolutely.
Okay. He said, "I got a big money weekend coming up. I got to build the hype. I don't know who's gonna play. Shoot.
See, I got Steven said, "There you're right. I'll be there."
Yo, so Steven, he done got Steven ready to go up to South End.
Stewart said, "Are you ready?" Like, yo, they have, tip your cap. They have promoted the heck out of this blue and gold game.
Man, that's what it is.
That's
Mon-Fri just said, "Go, come blue and gold, find out." That's all he got to say.
That's it.
Come to blue and gold. You got to come and see it yourself because I don't know. The team gonna know. I don't shoot. Can we put 3 out there? I don't know.
Springs ND08 says he's trying to drive up the Peacock.
Yeah, he got a side deal. Look, Marcus Freeman has a side deal because he's trying to make a play. He said, "I'm tired of these commercials. I'm trying to get some screen time." He said, "I'm gonna sell them subscriptions up, and I gotta pop on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air guest star or something." He working in big roles. So he's just playing the game. That's what he gotta get his money right here in the prime position where he gotta move some things around.
Look, man. I'm not mad at him, bro.
Business deals under the table. They didn't want to give me my apparel line. So now I gotta work into the media. I gotta get
that hoodie he had on post game was fire though. That hoodie he had on post game in practice was fire.
And the brother and they won't release it. So he like, I gotta do some back deals. Y'all talking to Peak, the connection's there. Peacock with our AD, Marcus Freeman. They like, all right, we're gonna have to boost these numbers. They had a backdoor conversation. I don't know who the quarterback is. That's the theme of the game. I don't know. You gotta come and see. Man, come to South and view it.
Come check it out. Come check it out, y'all. See for yourself. Lucky Lefty.
Tune in. Yeah, you might as well say, tune in.
When we come back, we'll get into Riley Leonard, Gruden Camp, Barstool Network. What did he say? What do we agree with? What don't we want to agree with? And are we going to put him on the petty train? We'll talk about it next. Home of the Misguided Passion, Shaun Davis, Malik Zaire. You already know. We spin it different.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag because if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
You wrap me up in the color of love. There must have been an angel
Lucky Lefty Podcast. Shaun Davis, SD2 Mics, that dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK, ZAIRE. We're brought to you by ONORA Whiskey at NoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey at NoraWhiskey.com. Courtesy of Believe Network, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We appreciate you guys tapping in with us over there at Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Continue to do so. We greatly appreciate it. Believe in Notre Dame, believe in Lucky Lefty, believe in yourself. YouTube, subscribe, share, hit that like button, that thumbs up helps with the views. We appreciate it. Leave your comments, questions. We will respond to all. And then go over to LuckyLeftyPod.com for all the Notre Dame news, articles, message board is free. Talk about anything over there and then merch it with us. All of our great Lucky Lefty merchandise is available at LuckyLeftyPod.com. And then patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network for the players only podcast with former Notre Dame players. Tap in. Left, I want to salute you, man. I want to salute you. You might have a call on your life, bro, because you have been prophetic about a lot of things, specifically the quarterback situation. You really have. So I tip my cap to you, man. When you talk quarterback play at Notre Dame, you would know more than anybody. And one of those people that you spoke about and everything that you said about them literally played out right before our very eyes was former Notre Dame starting quarterback that led the Fighting Irish to the national championship game, Leonard. And Riley was on Gruden Camp over at Barstool Network. It went live today. You can go watch the entire episode. But we just have 3 snippets for you tonight. And some very interesting comments from Leonard. Some very interesting comments from Leonard. And Left, I'm going to be honest with you, man. In certain things, and watching this, that I was like, ugh. And then certain things, I was like, okay. So I'm not even going to tell you what. I'm not even going to tease you with a topic, Left. I'm just going to allow you to listen to each clip, and then I'll let you respond. This is clip 1, Gruden Camp. Audio, no video. This is not the video. This is the audio. Just so you know, we don't want to get hit with copyright infringement. So this is courtesy of Barstool. First clip of Leonard talking about Notre Dame.
Notre Dame on the brink. You're going to go 5-0. You and Mike Elko beat Clemson, beat Miami. Now you're going to beat Notre Dame. You got these guys 4th and 16. You're standing on the sideline, right?
Oh yeah, I'm in fact practicing taking under center snaps to take a knee with my center at this time right now.
Is this Hartman right here? Selling out?
Unfortunately, yes, sir.
Then on the next play of the game, this game's over. You get hurt on the last play of the game, don't you?
Yes, sir.
I just kind of want to hear about, because everything's good, everything's great, everything is at this high level of excitement, and all of a sudden, we lost this game and I'm hurt. I want to hear about the mental toughness that you had to display during this time right here. Tell me about it.
I'll start by saying it sucked. You go from, thinking you're going to win the game to getting injured and losing to Notre Dame. But it's funny because, people say everything happens for a reason. If that doesn't happen, I'm probably not sitting here with you today. So
I'm just curious, why would you leave Duke? It seemed like you had the keys to Durham, man.
Yeah, you could say that. I actually had another injury there too. So I had a left turf toe. And after I got that surgery in November, I was sitting around and, just wondering what I was going to do with my career. I had 1 year left. And obviously I played against Notre Dame and knew that their whole defense was coming back. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, all right, they're going to be good. So sitting around and, Elko ended up going to Texas A&M, wanted to win a national championship and thought Notre Dame was the best place for it.
Okay, Robbie. They didn't play well. They beat us, and their defense is coming back. I have a better chance of winning a national championship at Notre Dame than Duke. Wasn't rocket science, was it, Lev?
They're just blessing guys with
Even
opportunity.
even Mike Elko left. Mike Elko got up out of there. Look, man, it is ironic that in a blink of an eye, he went from being like the dude that beat Clemson, Miami, and Notre Dame in the first 5 games of the season to, man, my coach left, and now I think I want to go to Notre Dame. It's really crazy how one play was the domino that caused everything else to be a chain reaction. It really is. It really is. And to hear him talk about it, you could just hear as he went back in his mind, like, yeah, I was practicing the victory formation on the sideline.
It's never winning that game, right?
I was waiting for you to call him Mr. G. Willikers. I'm waiting for you to say Mr. G. Willikers. I'm waiting.
Yeah,
he was
that's
never winning.
okay. Oh yeah, you wasn't gonna win that game, dude. What you? Oh man, this man kills me.
There was a lot of Notre Dame fans that thought Duke was about to win that game. No,
come on, man. This is a basketball school. That's just whack, man.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So then Riley went on to talk about this. This might stir you up a little bit.
Play for a national title.
Yeah. Going into this game, for me, I don't know if I appreciated being there because I had expected to be there. As soon as I transferred to Notre Dame, anything short of that wasn't the expectation. So I got there and I was like, of course I got, not to sound like I'm bragging, but of course we did. Like that was the mission the entire time. So I got to ask you, like your first Super Bowl, did you feel that way?
I felt like you felt that it's almost a burden off your shoulders. Like, we have to do this.
Right.
You have to be here or it's a failure. What was the deal with the game plan, though? I mean, the opening drive, you carried the ball about 8 times.
So we knew, they were going to be a good coverage team, so we were going to have to take advantage of them in the box, create that extra hat with our running back and run the quarterback a little bit. I said, sign me up. It's the last game anyway. Screw it.
You're down 31-7. Whew. What was the mindset? What was going on the sidelines? You and Coach Denbrock, Coach Freeman.
Let it fly.
Pick up the tempo.
Let it fly.
Just a quick summary on your Notre Dame experience.
What I think is like just growth, not only for me, but the entire team, the program, everybody just got better. And Freeman would always tell us, like, there is no goal other than to reach our full potential. And, making it to the national championship, our full potential was to win the game, and we could have done that. But I don't have any regret. I think it was the best decision I've ever made.
You okay, Lev?
Oh my God. He just sounds like the guy that gets the girl out of his league, so it's like he could just never lose. It's just like, dude, I got a girl out of my league. Like, what's the loss? Like, no matter how he plays it, he just wins, and it's just like, all right, well, we helped you out, Riley. Thanks, dude. Thanks, I guess. We were your best decision, but where you are, was it an equal transaction of value? I mean, I don't know, man. We got to championship. How'd it go from the game plan was to add the running back Jeremiah Love in there to block for me, and then knowing that wasn't going to work long, now you talking about let it fly. So y'all didn't have no game plan offensively for that game. Because what are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? Ohio State's best thing was their defensive line. So you just thought about adding a hat? I think they lied to you, Riley. I think they said that the only way we're going to win is if we run and you get lucky and we throw the football. No game plan against Ohio State is quarterback running game. Because how does that lead you to saying let it fly in the second? Like, dude, get out of here, dude. All right, whatever. Good for Riley. We helped like he said, if it wasn't for us, where would he be? So, congratulations, man.
The whole let it fly, you're down 31-7. Like every quarterback is gonna let it fly at that point. Yes, the mindset down 31-7 is to let it fly. You couldn't let it fly at 24-7.
That's what I'm saying.
How about
no, because they were trying to block for him running like what? That's what I said. We didn't have no game.
How about 17-7? You didn't want to let it fly then?
What I tell you that they made a phone call to Denbrock. They said, if we're gonna win this, it's gonna be through 13. And what was the game plan? Riley just told you. Well, we knew they can play good coverage, so we're gonna run the ball with me and sign me up for it. Like what? What do I sign you up to win the game? Sign you up for some That's why I'm like, Marcus Freeman, you fought for this all season. You fought for this guy. And now you telling me you don't know. I know you selling tickets, but come on, dude. Good grief.
Oh, man.
The day we can talk about a quarterback, this is what I'm going to say. The day we can talk about our quarterback like we talk about Drake Bowen is the day we offensively will reach that next level. Until then, who knows what we're going to do? Because there is no doubt in the mind of the coaches, the players, about Drake Bowen. There's no doubt. They said he was the dude last year. This is what you talk about. Guy coming into, his own coach said he is the head of the snake. He said he is a linebacker on and off the field. Like, what? You know what Drake, I even talking in the press conference, he said, yeah, I'm just getting better every day, Who. Offensively, we say, oh, I don't know. Oh, it's just even the receivers cap. Oh, the ball's the same. These all guys are great.
They're reading the script, Left. That's not capping.
All of them. But why they don't do that for the defense?
Because they're told to read the script and memorize it. Every receiver says the same thing the exact same way. That doesn't stick out to you. That doesn't stick. They say the exact same thing the exact same way. That doesn't stick out to you. Come on, man.
I hope they're all getting a cut of the promotion money that they're going to make building this game.
They might as well be the girls that hop up in the ring to tell you what round it is.
Because
girl, you know what I'm saying?
How good would you feel about this team?
They are helping to promote.
This is the question. This is my question of the day. How good would you feel if our offense talked about our quarterback like they talk about Drake on defense? How good would you feel? If Marcus Freeman was talking about our quarterback like Max Bullock talks about Drake Bowen, we would have a man. I don't know.
Third clip, Riley Leonard. Once again, Gruden's camp, courtesy of Bar Stew. You ready, Lev?
Yeah.
Watch you though. I mean, I'm seeing 371 yards on 51 scrambles. I see 68 rushing first downs. That's this year at Notre Dame. You ran for 68 first downs, 550 yards after contact. I mean, hell, I'm 34 rushing touchdowns you got in your career. What kind of quarterback do you want to be? I thought I was getting Phillip Rivers in here. Phillip Rivers ain't doing this.
Whatever you need me to be. Legit. Like,
that's good. That's what I want to hear.
If the second half of Ohio State, how many rushing yards did I have? Very little.
First drive of the game, you ran it every play.
Right. That was the game plan to have a long drive, use the quarterback and run the ball. Second half, we're down by a lot. You need me to stand in the pocket, make plays. I can do it.
I want to know about Denbrock, the offensive coordinator. He came from LSU to Notre Dame. Wasn't he coaching Jaden Daniels at LSU when he won the Heisman? Now, did you have to watch a lot of Jaden Daniels film when you were at Notre Dame learning the system?
Yes, it was fun to watch.
What's this play? Call it for me in the Notre Dame terminology like Denbrock.
So we got double right top. That's going to top the back. We got Y2, and then we're running Seattle hot here. So Seattle hot's just going to be your mid zone with the tight end to the point of attack. So you got the backside edge, right? You got a little 4-2 box here. Jaden's reading the backside edge. He's pulling this, and then, you're one-on-one with the safety from there.
Okay, now I turn on the Notre Dame film, and you guys did the same thing.
This one's just going to be remixed to trio right, Seattle hot, but same play.
Same play, and you guys get 1 yard. Is Daniels that much better than you, or what?
No, sir. I don't think so. No, sir.
That's why I called cap. I was out. I was done. This dude said Jaden Daniels is not better than him. I was done, left. I was like, okay.
This guy, that's it.
I'll let the whole. I didn't run the ball at all in the second half, and they needed me to throw.
Yeah, you just missed to do it all.
We were down 31-7. I was able to throw the ball. Right? Didn't do it when it was 10-7, 17-7, 24-7. But when we got down 31-7, you saw I could throw the football. But when we needed you to throw the football in the first half to stymie the Ohio State rush, yeah. But I let that pass. I let that pass on that. This guy, John Gruden, just gaslighting him, love. You watched a lot of LSU fans. You watched Jaden Daniels.
Watch Jaden Daniels here. Watch Jaden Daniels.
It was
fun.
fun.
I'm going to see if you're going to talk that stuff.
Play. The play, by the way, if you watch the video, the first play, that was the LSU play, Jaden Daniels took it to the house. The same play, Jaden Daniels took it to the house. The same play, Riley Leonard, you heard John Gruden said you guys got 1 yard on the play. That's what John Gruden said. You guys got 1 yard on that play. But that Jaden Daniels guy, he's not that much better than you, is he? No, sir. No, sir. I don't know, sir. What?
Oh, he don't even show respect to the dude.
Man.
He's just like, no, he's not even I don't think so. Man,
bruh.
Man, Notre Dame, you should be ashamed of yourself. Man.
Bruh.
All the quarterbacks that died to be in that position, you do this to this kid.
This man said that he does not think Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback than him, love.
He ain't even try to dress it up and be like, no, Jaden's good, He just straight up said, no, I don't think so. I mean, it's crazy.
That man said
he ain't trying to show him no props, don't be like he had a good season. He was like, nah, he ain't The guy that won a Heisman running the same offense that was ran by a guy that had 2 first-round receivers and a Heisman trophy is not better than you. It's just that's man. See?
Super chat from my guy, ND Milton fan. What did Indy need to do to enable Riley to be more successful? Better wide receivers, running backs, coaching. ND Milton fan, thank you for the super chat. Look, man. I'll just say this. It has been a lot of excuses. Man, look, offense is all about, it's not like defense where offense is so much about all 11 really doing and operating together cohesively. And every area of the Notre Dame offense was bad and inconsistent at points. That continuity wasn't there. The same thing that happened against Ohio State happened against Penn State. Penn State's offense just wasn't good enough to get the lead to be big enough.
Exactly.
Penn State dominated early, just like Ohio State. They just didn't have the offensive players. They dropped a touchdown in the red zone. They kept Notre Dame in the game. And Notre Dame was able to turn it around and catch up. Notre Dame tried to do the same thing against Ohio State. Ohio State just had the firepower. firepower to finish things off. It's like, dude, it's not. Come on, man. Like, we got to stop. Torrey Phillips, why you all hate on Leonard so much? He had a much better college career than Malik certainly did. What does that have to do with anything? What, dude? That just shows you the immaturity, dude. Like, well, hate? He said he's better than Jaden Daniels. Stop. That's not hating. The man said he's better. He thinks he's just as good or better than Jaden Daniels. Stop. Who's hating on what? The man said he let it fly at 31-7. What are you talking about? Your team needed you when it was 14-7 and 17-7 and 24-7. What are we talking about? As a Notre Dame fan, you feel good hearing that? Oh, when it got down 31-7, I really showed I could throw the ball. What about the missed passes?
Whatever you need me to do. Whatever you need me to do.
What about the missed pass attempts when you were down 7, when you were down 10? What about those opportunities to pass the ball that you failed? What are we talking about? We hating. How are we hating? As a Notre Dame fan, you should hear that and be like, that's crap. That's crap. That's absolute crap. You telling me you were ready to let it fly down 31-7. What are we talking about, man?
You wasn't ready to fly before, and you was ready to run the ball. I mean, I don't know. If you, like Rudin said, you can do whatever we ask you. So let's just play something else.
That has nothing to do with hating. That's cap. He's capping. That's not hate. He's capping. He's nowhere near the quarterback Jaden Daniels was. Nowhere near. That's cap. As a Notre Dame fan, you should be upset that he's publicly saying, oh, I really showed once we got down 31-7 that I could let it fly. What? We've been waiting all year for you to let it fly consistently all year. Come on, man. I literally just said, listening is a skill. I literally just said everybody in the offense was inconsistent and failed last year. Offensive line was inconsistent. Wide receivers were inconsistent. Riley Leonard was inconsistent. He just had some legs that could help him cover up his inconsistency. That's it. Running backs were inconsistent, especially in pass pro and picking up blitzes. Their ability to run the ball really well covered that up. And heck, they only threw the ball 39% of the time.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Was it hate when Malik said he's going to struggle at the beginning of the year with all the time he missed in the spring and all of this? He's not going to be able to come out and give you what you need. Was that hating, or did he tell the truth because it played out exactly as Malik said? Exactly as he said. Because he's played the position under Mike Denbrock at Notre Dame. While everybody was saying, oh, Riley Leonard being hurt, his injuries won't mean a thing. He won't miss a beat. He'll be just fine. The only person that said he was going to struggle because he knows what Mike Denbrock is going to ask of him. And Mike Denbrock, week 3, had to scale back the offense because he couldn't handle it. Those are facts. Those are facts that dude right there said. Now you want to try to disregard who he is? He's a Notre Dame man. Him. He was a Notre Dame man. Riley Leonard's not.
Facts.
He was a pay for hire.
Hired gun,
So
man.
as a Notre Dame fan, you're corny if you want to celebrate a dude that's a pay for hire over a dude that actually bled and sweat and got a degree from the school and is recognized as a Notre Dame man. You're corny. I'll say it. That's mad corny.
Yeah.
That's mad corny. Because he speaks the truth about a situation. Now you want to get upset and try to denigrate what he did. The heck out of here with that corny stuff, man. And I love everybody, dude. I love everybody's opinion, but Lev, I don't do that when people try to personally attack people. That's mad corny. That shows immaturity. When you have to personally attack somebody to like voice your opinion on something, you're corny. It is what it is. Everybody in here has been fantastic all night. Different opinions, having fun, cracking jokes, and it's always one. It's always one. It's always one, Left. It's always one. He's a competitor. He's not better than Jaden Daniels. Don't sit there and lie.
Period.
The person that's asking you the question knows you're not better than Jaden Daniels. What are you talking about? Tell the truth. That's what he's told the truth blatantly all year long. What are you talking? He's a competitor. Tell the truth. I don't know, sir. I don't know if I can say that. He won the Heisman. Tell the truth. Talking about what do you want him to say? I want him to tell the truth. He knows in his heart he's not better than Jaden Daniels. What are we talking about?
My problem is he don't respect it, nothing. He just straight up said, no, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. What are you talking about? That was just the crazy part for me.
I guess because he's a competitor, as a Notre Dame fan, I should forgive the fact that he let it fly down 31-7.
Yeah, that was the time.
That was the time he wanted to let it fly. Yeah. Man, come on, man.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Come on, man. You better than the rookie of the year that took his team to the division title. Like, what are you talking about?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
John Gruden be having guys capping, like guys cap for Taylor Rooks. Just get to just.
Yo, we literally said John Gruden is the best gaslighter we've ever seen of quarterbacks. And he does it year after year after year.
It is after the clip where he said the same clip. Yes, you got 1 yard on this.
we weren't even taking the conversation seriously. We were laughing about it. Like, come on, bro. Now you know darn well you're not better than. We got to put you on the petty train for that. You know darn well you're not better than Jaden Daniels.
How dare you say
that? And because we sitting up here having fun with the conversation, my man wants to make it personal. Like, man, miss me with that, dude. Miss me with that. The heck out of here. This fan base disappoints me because your expectations of quarterback play has been lowered so much. It's been lowered so much that you are accepting of what is considered average to below average quarterback play on the college level. Yeah. We've become accepting of that.
Accepting of it. Yeah.
We're cool with 200 yards per game through the air. We're actually cool with that as a fan base. We're cool with that. We're cool with that. And as Malik said all season, we can beat just about everybody playing this way. But you're not, the two teams you said, you're not going to beat Oregon and Ohio State playing football this way offensively. You warned everybody all season left that was going to happen. And what happened when they faced Ohio State? You can't be that inconsistent in the passing game.
Can't do it, yeah. When you go toe for toe with the best,
that's it.
You got to have at least something of equal value, and we were severely lacking.
So when somebody speaks facts and they actually become true, I don't consider that hate.
Yeah, that don't make you podcast. You can lie just because.
We'll be back tomorrow, Left, man. Have a great night, man. Spin it different.